Okay, so it's hard to meet someone you like. Are you going to limit your search to your own area code? Today we're talking long distance dating. I'm Andrea Sertash and this is On Dating.
When you don't know who you're talking to, you feel safe to say things you normally wouldn't. So I think people who date online open up very quickly.
Because it's so much easier online, isn't it? To be able to say, I'm this, that, and the other, and all your secrets.
Right, yeah, because you're not meeting face to face.
You gotta find out about each other, find out about each other's insights, the mind, spirituality.
I believe people are so desperate to find someone, they'll just open up too quick, which usually leads to some type of disaster.
The internet is such a quick medium, and that's for bringing things together very quickly. That's what it's made for, I think.
There's a famous Seinfeld episode in which Kramer feels like he's having a long-distance relationship with a woman who lives on the other side of town, downtown. It's too much for him and he has to end it. Then you hear stories about people who court each other far away, which seems really conducive in the world of cyber romance. So which side do you fall on? How far will you travel in the world of virtual dating? If you're going to venture to another area code, city, country, there are some things to consider. If you don't already have it, get a good, high-speed internet connection. It's 2007. Computers are running so fast. You'd be surprised how many people don't have that. When you're dating long distance, you're going to rely on a good internet connection so you can keep communicating, keep your long-distance bill down, and even attach a cheap webcam for maximum connection. Another thing to consider if you're going to venture into the long-distance dating world is to keep your momentum up with your date. Sign up for a card with air miles if you don't have a credit card already like that, because air mileage will be your best currency when you fall for someone far away. Just don't spend them unless you and your date have discussed it first. I once interviewed a guy in England and he thought it would be really romantic to show up on the doorstep of his long-distance date, and she got totally freaked out. He flew all the way to the States. She didn't want it. So, assuming the interest is mutual, try to visit each other at least 1 or 2 times a month, or as much as your bank account and your schedule will allow. Another tip, don't hibernate with your long-distance date when you do visit each other. There's a tendency, because you're so excited and you haven't spent a lot of time together, to stay cooped up in someone's apartment catching up. But it's just as important to see your date in his world, with his friends, his job, his interests, so you really get a sense of who this person is. If you have a 3-day weekend planned, perhaps you can spend the first night one-on-one cuddling, and then you could spend the rest of the weekend in his world. Try to live in the moment when you're in a long-distance relationship. My friend Brian has this wonderful habit of inviting us over for impromptu parties, but now that he's dating long distance, it seems he can't be as spontaneous about anything. Long-distance relationships can turn even the most last-minute person into a future-obsessed planner. But it's really important when you're dating long distance to try to stay in the moment. Listen, there are never any guarantees about where your relationship is going, so you may as well enjoy the process. And finally, I know it may seem like I'm contradicting myself, but it's important to talk about your future in a long-distance relationship. You can stay present and enjoy it, but you shouldn't be scared to have those discussions about where this may be going, especially after a number of months of dating. This kind of question will come up in any adult relationship, so don't shy away from it. Here's my online dating tip of the week. Respect people's preferences. If someone mentions that he or she is only interested in dating in their hometown, respect this. Long-distance relationships epitomize all the good and the challenging aspects of any relationship. You have to compromise, you have to communicate, and you have to care enough to make sure your long-distance relationship shines at its full potential. So remember, even a bad date makes a great story, so get out there and have some fun. Thanks for watching On Dating. I'm Andrea Sertash. I'll see you next time.